You're tuned into the Grant Business Show with Rodney Walker.
Well, hello and welcome to the Grant Business Show. I'm your host, Rodney Walker, and I am so excited that you have decided to listen in to episode number 1. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be sharing some information with you on today about why the Grant Business Show. I know that's what you're wondering. Why should we even have a Grant Business Show? And why should I listen? And what's in it for you? Well, let me just start off by saying there's a lot that's in it for you. And I've got a lot of information that I'm going to be bringing your way that I believe is going to really help you. But before we do that, I want to go back and really take a look at that question that I just raised. Why the Grant Business Show? You know, there are a lot of different shows that are out there related to business. And there are a lot of different shows out there that are related to grants. So why the need for another one, Rodney? And that's what I'm going to be answering on today. I'm also going to be answering the question for you, what's in it for you? And why you should listen. I really think you should listen. I'm going to be sharing with you some of those reasons why. And I want to just say that I'm so thrilled that you are taking the time to go down this road. Hopefully it will provide great clarity for you. And hopefully it will be a great source of inspiration as well as information that you can practically use right now. I want to see you win, and that's a lot of why this show exists. But let me back up for a second. Yes, let me back up right now, and let me just share with you a little bit about my journey so that you can understand that the guy that's talking has been there and done a lot of what maybe you're trying to do right now. You see, I started a grant business back in 2006 at the encouragement of my graduate school professor who saw something in me. He said, "Hey, you really have a knack for this whole grant writing thing. Have you thought about being a consultant?" And at the time, I wasn't thinking about being a consultant. I was just trying to raise some money for the nonprofit organization that I had founded and was trying to secure some initial startup money for. But eventually, that seed that he planted germinated, and eventually it grew. And here I am years later, and I'm having the time of my life helping people to secure funds. And I'm thrilled that now you are here and that we get an opportunity to talk about doing a grant business, because I've been at every juncture of this, and it's really a fascinating business. The whole grant space, working with nonprofits, working with governmental agencies, working with even for-profit businesses, and helping these organizations to know what they need to do to navigate to get funded. It's a cool thing, and I've seen a lot of things happen on the positive side as well as on the less than positive side of this business. And I've seen grant professionals that have helped organizations to raise millions, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, in other cases, millions of dollars. And then at the end of the day, they walk around with a little bag with some pennies falling out and a little loose change, where the organization that they were working and writing the grants for were the only winners. They were the only ones that really took home the bank. And I believe that if you are a business owner, and if you are a grant professional, a freelance grant writer, or even maybe you haven't even started your business and you want to simply start one, I want you to start from day one realizing that there should always be win-win situations. It shouldn't be that the organization that you are writing the grants for is the only winner. They should not be the only winner. It should be mutual, because if you help to raise funds for them, rightfully so, you should be handsomely compensated. And that's what I'm going to be encouraging you to think about even as we go throughout the show. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me just back up and answer that question, why this show? Why the Grant Business Show? Well, after looking across the landscape of various shows, there are great business shows that are out there. And yes, there are even great grant shows that are out there. What I've tended to find, though, is that there is a concentration of shows that focuses on the grants and talks about the whole aspects of grant writing, and maybe every now and then talk some about the business aspect of it as well. But there's no show that was dedicated 100% of its time to talking about grant business. And that's why I decided that, hey, it's time for us to have a show in this space. And maybe as time continues, there will be many more. But for now, there was a need that I saw, and I said, you know what? Somebody has to stand in this gap. And I decided that I would be one of those that would do so. And it's out of that need that now I'm doing this show, and I'm looking forward to helping you literally take your business and elevate it to the next level. Now, another reason why this show, when I was first starting out, I wished, listen to me, I wish that there could have been a show like this that could have helped me to know what landmines that I should be avoiding. And I wish that there was some type of show that could have spoken specifically to me as a grant or would-be grant business owner. At the time, there were none. And I'm now coming to the table saying, hey, let me be what I wish was there for me. So literally, I'm coming to the table now and I am playing it forward. I'm hoping that as I help you with the information I'm going to be sharing, that one day you too, my friend, will pay it forward with someone else that needs to know the information that you are about to learn in our time. So I'm hoping that it will help you in a very practical way. And I'm hoping that this show will be something that you can rely on to help to inspire you, to give you the insight that you need. Because when you're doing a business, if you don't do it the right way, and let me share with you in some very concrete terms what I mean by the right way. If you don't go at it smart, you're going to find yourself very frustrated, because if you do business in a less than professional way, meaning that you need to have a game plan, and if you don't have a game plan, you can find yourself going around in circles, and you can find yourself starting a grant business and being a good or even a great grant writer, but not knowing how to get business, and find yourself knowing not how to close deals when somebody comes your way asking you about the possibilities of becoming their grant writer. You can drop some balls by not knowing how to close the deal. Another big landmine that I see is not even knowing how to price yourself. So what happens, you put yourself in a losing position because now you think that you're doing something because you're maybe charging $100 an hour, but it only takes you 10 hours to write the grant. And now you've written a wonderful grant proposal for an organization, and that organization now takes that proposal that you've written for them, and then they go and they secure a $300,000 or $400,000 grant, and you're left with $1,000. What's wrong with that picture? I'll tell you. You should have gotten more out of that deal because you helped them in a tremendous way. You're about staff. You're helping the staff to keep their jobs. You're helping to bring in programming. You're helping that community to be stronger. What happens if you didn't write that grant? So I'm in to see everyone win. The nonprofit organizations, the governmental organizations that are doing their good, and I'm really in for the grant business owner, so that you position yourself to win in this equation. I hope that makes sense. That's what this show is all about. I'm going to be bringing you some information, and the next time that I share, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more information about my hopes for you with this show. Yes, I'm going to be sharing with you my hopes for you with this show, and so I hope that you'll listen in. I will also be answering questions over the course of our times together. So if you have questions, feel free to send them to me over at info@grantcentralusa.com. I look forward to getting a chance to connect with you and go on this journey with you to help you and your business. Until we talk again, my friend, remember, I want you to be brave, be bold, be brilliant, and I'll talk to you soon. All the best.